Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 28 of the Realm Recap. I am Jason from Yakface.com, joined once again by Flyguy from Flyguy.net.
Good evening, interwebs, and you? How are you, sir?
Hello, sir. I'm doing great. I assume you are as well.
I am indeed.
Let's see. A lot of things went on this week from a store standpoint, both in store and online. I think kind of starting off the week, kind of start off with some Hasbro and general store report kind of info is that kind of a follow-up to some of the reports that some Target stores were only getting kind of piecemeal cases of
Mm.
items. There also some stores are instituting new pricing where, you know, uh, Saga Legends figures I've seen as high as almost $8, where you know when they first came out they were what, $5.99 here.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not sure what a lot of stores, depending on the market they're in. I know here in Minnesota, where Target is based, if it's a store that's that's a higher volume type store and it's in an affluent area, some of the prices are typically higher. Just in general,
Oh, is that right?
like
Okay.
like the Black Series or like even the Marvel Infinite line is close to $11 for a single figure.
Wow.
So, but this is I hope it's not the way it's going to be. It's
Well, I mean, the price before this was $6.99 or $5.99.
$5.99 for Saga Legends.
5.99. You know, I know I mean, definitely things are much more price sensitive here in the US, without a doubt. But
Mhm.
it's hard for me to it's hard for me to not say still, cry me a river, because because
I know
it's
you
like
do have a unique perspective where
I
you're
do.
basically paying half of what you used to.
Yeah, so I'm still like, whatever, man. It's only a couple of bucks, but no, you're right. It's still a price hike. But as you say, that this is not every store, so
Right.
I don't know. What's your commenters were saying a few things about them. I think kind of. I'm sure there was a few comments about it. They think it was planned. Perhaps banking on Rebels. I don't. Do you think that? Do you think that's going to
I,
tie in with the Legends?
maybe if they had some Rebels product out.
Yeah,
I mean,
if it was
it's
Rebels, yeah.
there's some reports here and there of just the Jakks Pacific figures that are related to the
Mm,
Rebels line. There's not Hasbro Rebels product as far as action figures go out yet. A few figures in the command line and some of the role play type stuff, but I don't. I hope they're not hitching their horse to the Rebels stuff, because that's going to be what, 2 months yet, probably.
yeah.
So
Well, Hasbro make it very hard for everybody. I think in a lot of ways, it's there's not a lot of margins for stores. There's not a lot of product in stores of stores that are getting them. They're split up. It's
yeah,
kind of
I
weird
think
thing.
after the initial reset of Target, I, I'll use just Target as a reference
Sure.
for throughout all this stuff, because don't I don't go to Walmart very often, and it's just that I think once Target did their reset, they haven't really refreshed anything. It's like they got their initial shipments
Sure.
to load the aisles, but they haven't gone through a restocking or reordering yet, I don't
Yep.
think. So
Yep.
I think in a lot of stores, the Jabba and the speeder bikes are long gone. There's just
Absolutely.
a big hole where they're supposed to be. Um, Not surprisingly, the X-wings are just parked there. Um, but
Well, we will.
they seem to be doing pretty well on the 6-inch line, though. I think a lot of stores are getting some of the later cases, at least with the Anakin and Clone Trooper, with the Boba Fett and Stormtrooper. So that's nice that they're making their way out.
Yeah, like I think it's a fact of every year prices go up. It's just things get harder and harder to find, and prices just go up and up. It's I've never known it in any year of all my collecting to not do that. So
Hmm.
never gets easier and it never gets cheaper. It's kind of
Right.
like death and taxes, but for it's that's the way it goes for toys. But
Well,
Yeah.
and it hurts too. Like with especially, I made this point elsewhere that like with the Saga Legends line, that was kind of targeted to be a
Sure.
cheaper line,
Sure.
obviously with the limited articulation and the less than ideal paint apps, but still, those were supposed to be like a $5.99 figure, and now
Right.
they're in the $7 range in a lot of places. It sounds like, and I think that's a harder pill to swallow when it's that type of a figure. I mean, people that didn't like those figures aren't going to buy them anyway because of the price hike, and so that's just going to hurt those type of figures more.
Well,
More people I think want the the Black Series figures, so I think they'll eat a dollar price hike more
yeah.
willingly than with the Saga Legends line.
I think it's an untrue figure as well when we show that price there of $7.19. I mean, you guys obviously have sales tax, which is added on top of that. So
Mm-hmm.
you're talking in some states that's basically $8.
Oh yeah.
The UK and Australia and other countries of the world, we just don't see those taxes. They're hidden. They're already added onto those costs. So it's $12 a figure or $18 a figure, whatever it may be. So it's a little, yeah, it's $8 now instead of $5.99 plus tax. So
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely going up. It's definitely going up. But who's frankly, for me, not a lot of people are buying these figures. I
Yeah, I
know
mean
we've had
that
that.
line's been pretty stale now. I mean, I haven't seen any of the new figures at retail from the Saga Legends line. Like I haven't seen the
Sure.
Snowtrooper, I don't believe. Or I haven't seen the Luke. The Jedi Luke is obviously not. I don't think that is even coming in the U.S. despite what Hasbro says. It'll come in the revised packaging, but I haven't seen reports of that hitting here in the U.S. So
I know. I was on the Wolfpack last night, and you couldn't make it, but we were talking about that as well. That I seem to think it was going to be this wonderful world where shelves were full of toys, and it just ain't. It just
yeah.
ain't. So
Action figures hanging from trees.
yeah, Quinlan Vosses and Yarnas. This is the way of the world I'm getting used to. So never mind. Anyway,
So speaking of 5 POA type of figures, there's been reports that the Hasbro 12-inch figures, new characters have been hitting that line finally, or unfortunately, depending on your point of view. There's the Luke Jedi Knight and the Stormtrooper, which
it's
have
awesome.
been hitting. Yeah, I think I mean, both of them look pretty decent. I kind of made the decision, I suppose a month or so back, that I wasn't gonna keep pursuing these in an effort to help
Slim down.
curb unnecessary spending. Even though that Stormtrooper looks as good as any,
He
you
does.
know,
It's kind of hard to screw up the Stormtrooper in some ways. An
yeah,
all-white figure with a splash of black. It's kind of
right,
the most basic you can get. Doesn't look too bad, but at $9.99 for someone, again, we've talked about this before, someone new to the line, and there's plenty of kids and younger people. That's not a bad price point.
not
So
at all. I mean, and that's what's weird too. Like, they could still sell those for $9.99,
yeah, for all
and
that
then
plastic.
and the Saga Legends figures are $8. It's just the math is just so screwed up. I mean, and that's
It is.
because of you know labor costs and all that good stuff.
I think we talked about before. It's more or less a lot of the times the if you have to fiddle with those figures and put them together and/or paint, that's the big cost. It's not the volume of plastic. I always thought it was the plastic because we used to get the argument from Hasbro for years that oil has gone up, the price of plastic has gone up. But I think that argument's kind of just going
Yeah.
downhill with black 6-inch and these huge shampoo bottles. So
Hmm.
it's the fiddly stuff that costs the money.
Right. Let's see some other store reports. Kmart, they've had recently those vintage collection 2-packs of the Ewoks and the Imperial sets that include,
Scanning crew.
the scanning crew. Those have been going on clearance at Kmart for about 20% off. So those are good army builder type of
They are.
impulse purchases if you're into those. I know I have, a half a dozen sets of those stacked up here for no good reason.
Ditto. Ditto. It was vintage, and they were awesome. You had to buy them.
Yep.
So, no, they were very cool.
Let's see. Next one here. Dorkside Toys warehouse clearance sale.
Yes, they had a pile of stuff, and I've bought some stuff this week. So yeah, there's some good stuff. If you haven't yet picked up the 3 3/4 latest wave of the Black Series, they've got it, and it's down to $8.33 a figure if you want to buy the set of 6. So it's pretty. It's a rather good price, $49.99. So if we're just saying that you can't find these things, and we're talking about the price going up, there's a super articulated figure, only $8.33. So
right,
yeah, it's pretty good. Lots of other Star Wars stuff and non-Star Wars. If you there's some mission packs at $5.99. So yeah, if you want to get some cheap stuff, have a look.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of great stuff in there. Especially like. Excuse me, that new the Anakin 6-inch for $14.99. I mean, that's a heck of a deal,
That's not going to last. I think that's an absolute given. But did you ever get into the fabrications?
No, I haven't.
I thought the Yoda. I just thought, why have you not got into the Yoda?
No, I just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Oh, well, it's
Soon.
$14. I just thought the little face was just with your Yoda focus. He's a very cool little figure, but
it's kind of like a mix between Stewie from Family Guy and Yoda. There's just
something about him, but he's a very, very good price, and I get suckered into Deadpool and Fett. I had to get them, so yeah, they're kind of. I know what you mean. You got to sometimes focus on what you're collecting, but I just thought you with your Yoda. I thought, why have you not got that yet? But there we go.
Soon. I'll place an order.
Soon.
Let's see. That kind of brings us to the end of the Hasbro news, except for one final item, and that is in regards to the Black Series Darth Vader that has been slowly making its way from online retailers. The other day, I think it was Thursday, I posted a video on YouTube on the Yakface channel, and describing that the figure isn't. The figure is. I will say this: it is absolutely 100% the best Darth Vader that you can buy if you can look past the frequency and the issue with the head being easily removable. It's a flaw. It's a down. There's no other way to put it. The figure has a bad design in that regard. Like I said, I'll reiterate, the figure itself is great. You could put it in any single pose that you could think of, and some that you haven't ever been able to do with Darth Vader, as far as like some of the lightsaber poses where you could have him holding his lightsaber with 2 hands above his head. It's an amazing figure in that regard, from articulation and sculpt. The soft goods are great, but it's got a problem, and it's the head, and it's not supposed to come off like that easily. And I've read countless remedies on how to fix it.
Sure.
Whether it's you Dremel out the plug for the head, or you file down the neck, or you make sure you got all the cape gathered away from the opening, or you slip the cape over the whole neck base. All of those are excuses in ways to fix this figure, and I just can't look past it. I mean, that doesn't mean don't buy it. Please buy it. Buy 2, buy 10. Buy it. It's the best Darth Vader yet, but it has a problem.
Yep. And you can feel your frustration when you watch the video. I think it's kind of
right.
You're saying this is an amazing Vader, but it's clearly driving you nuts that the damn head keeps falling off every couple of minutes.
There's no Darth Vader. I don't think there's an action figure out there other than this Darth Vader, and maybe the Jango Fett that came out in the Saga line that had the magnetic head, that you could literally flick the head and have it fly off.
Yeah.
I don't know of any other figure that way. And you could say it's a perfect figure or whatever, but that's not how action figures are supposed to operate. It's a flaw.
Do you think you've potentially maybe got one that's, I mean, again, you bought this online, I guess. But this wasn't an early one, or was this one that you
Nope,
bought?
this was out of a case of figures
Sure. Okay.
I received from
Should
Entertainment
be,
Earth. I'll
that
disclose
should be
that.
normal.
Um,
Okay.
I
So it's
know
not a
Adam
Viper's
Paulus ran
Pain.
into the same thing with his.
Well, I saw Dan from Star Wars Collector had the same issue
Yep.
as well. So,
And there's a lot of people that have either mentioned it or have, because these aren't shipping en masse, really, it's pre-orders are being filled still and whatnot, but
yeah.
it's not like the problem doesn't exist. And it doesn't mean that it's not going to be corrected. It might just be some of these early batches that the tooling is not quite right, or I don't know. I don't know what excuse to make for it, but
Well, the head shouldn't come off any figure, period. It's not supposed to come off. So, yeah.
it's not an intended play feature.
No. Well, maybe if you think of it. No, I'm kidding. But it's, yeah, I don't know.
We'll see. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, please buy it. It's not a terrible figure. I will proudly display this among the best of my action figures, but I'll be careful with it.
Well, yes, I guess it's.
And like I said, I posted this video, I think on Thursday, and I think 1,100 people have now watched it, and not one of those people that have either posted or commented or emailed have said that this video has made them decide they don't want to buy it. So I think that's kind of telling.
Yeah, that's the point of reviews, is to just show people what it's like in hand.
Yeah.
Half the time all we get is photoshopped images from Toy Fair or San Diego Comic-Con, and
Right.
we clearly know once you get the figure in hand, sometimes that paint application looks nothing like that photoshopped image. So,
Right.
or the
And
features or the functionality. So.
Right, and that was kind of one of the main reasons why I made the video, is because photos can't show what I demonstrated.
Absolutely.
And because you could take photos of this figure all day long from any angle, and it will look fantastic. You could pose it, take the best high-res images or blurry images you want, but in the end, a video shows that it has
I agree.
a flaw. So
That's
anyway.
why I like video reviews.
Anyway, moving on. I've talked about Darth Vader a lot these past couple days.
Well, I think it's the frustration as well. It's a great figure, but it has a key feature that's got an issue. So, yeah, again, your frustration comes across in the video. You're definitely into the figure, but
Right.
it's not great. So,
again, please buy it. Buy it. Buy it from Darkside Toys, please.
yeah, buy from them. That'd be awesome.
Let's see. In other product news, Boba Fett, the talking Boba Fett 13-inch figure has started to hit Disney stores, or DisneyStore.com. I actually called a Disney store today and said they hadn't received it yet, and they were expecting it soon. So I think this looks good. I saw the prototype of this figure, like we've talked about before,
Sure.
in California. The final product looks great according to the pictures that Disney Store is showing. It's got some, it has the talking phrases and whatnot, all, with the overdubbed Tamara Morrison voice from the special edition.
I had picked up somewhere that it wasn't Tamara Morrison.
I think it is.
Maybe I'm wrong.
You could, I don't know if you want to do it now. You can do it later, but there's a audio file you could click.
Oh, it is Tamara. Yeah, good. Okay, well, like, at least it's someone genuine. There's nothing worse than pressing the play button. The Vader, I still swear the Vader is non-Vader, James Earl Jones, but yeah.
I still don't have that one. I don't have the Chewie yet either, or this one. So I know it went up for sale the Boba Fett went up for sale this week, so I think people are probably receiving it either today or probably early next week, so they'll be able to um, give the full scoop on its quality. There's some interesting things about it too. I listened to all the sound effects that the website provided. There's some overlap of sound effects that they're actually from Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones. Not dialogue, but sound effects like blaster and jetpack sound effects. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Is that kind of a hint that maybe they have the audio files, so why not make a Jango Fett version? Or
well, this is it. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm a Fett nut, and I was all tempted to buy this, but given the sideshow version, given the Black Series 6-inch version, given it's $40 plus tax, I love the Stormtrooper because we don't have anything in that scale that's really, really as good. Sideshow made one a long, long time ago, which is much in need of an update, but if I don't find this essential, I don't know. But you've loved this line from the very beginning, so I think you're all in pretty much, or
well, it's hard. It's kind of like I said. I still don't have the Vader, and that's been out for months.
It has, yeah.
And I don't have the Chewie yet, and that's been out for at least a month. So I was hoping that they would have a sale on these actually. The other day, they DisneyStore.com posted an online sale of buy one get one for $1, and I thought, oh, that I'm just gonna get the Chewie and I'll get the Boba Fett. No, it wasn't eligible. It was only eligible for certain merchandise, and of course these weren't it. So I totally would have went in for both of those if that was the case. But
my bad. It's actually
I'll still bide my time on them.
Yeah, look, it's $30. My bad. I said $40, so that's a little better, but it's
yeah,
it's a glorified statue. It's not a bad price. It's not a bad price, and it looks a good sculpt. But
yeah, they did a pretty nice job on it.
They did.
I'm not sure the need for the orange plug for the blaster.
I know. You're not going to be firing. It's not a kid thing. I know.
Yeah. They did the same thing with the Han and the Stormtrooper and the Luke. They all have the. I think maybe that's just to enhance the flashing effect, but it looks like it's supposed to be one of those, safety, regulated type of editions.
Exactly. And talking of Fett.
Oh yeah, General Giant released the pre-order for the life-size Boba Fett. This is the vintage scale or the vintage style figure based on the 1980-79 figure.
I love this line. Sorry to interrupt. This qualifies for free shipping.
Yeah. Oh really?
How nice of them.
Only $2,750.
Wow. It's a beauty, though. It is a beauty.
It's cool. Blaster's removable. I think his rocket comes out from the pictures I saw at San Diego Comic-Con when they had that on display. But
what are you going to do with a rocket? It's not as if you're going to fire the thing. It's a beautiful piece, though.
It'd be very cool to have. There's few choice people that can afford it, and I think I mentioned before that I think Gus Lopez said he wanted to purchase it.
I was my boss. I was speaking to him this week. I said this would look great in our foyer. He said the same thing as well, but that would
you can have the first in-hand review of it.
Absolutely. So maybe, but he's a beaut. He is a beaut. Very expensive but big. So life-size Boba Fett. There you go. Okay, we can dream.
Yeah, so you have plenty of time to decide whether or not you want to get it too, because it doesn't come out till towards the end of 2015. So you can save up. There's plenty of holidays and birthdays in between there. So
exactly.
Go in with a friend. I don't know.
Exactly. Maybe they'll do a buy one get one free. I don't know. Yeah. So still talking about Fett in some ways.
Yeah, and large figures. Jakks Pacific had the 20-inch, depending on the scale, there's 18, 20, inch line, 31-inch line. Those new figures are starting to hit retail, including Rebels figures like Kanan and Ezra. I haven't seen any of the reports of Inquisitors hitting stores yet. I think that one's only available in the 31-inch flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Boba Fett is an exclusive to Walmart, so
Yes.
that's showing up there. Also, a TIE Pilot,
Yep. The
Biker
tie.
Scout.
I've seen. Have you seen these in the flesh?
No, not yet.
So we saw these earlier on this week, and the TIE Fighter is actually really impressive. His blaster is huge. I don't know why, but it's incredibly big. And the all of the Baker Scouts we saw on the shelves, all of this white part on the helmet was actually bent and dented,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see the same on the Boba there with the antenna.
Mm-hmm.
So that Baker Scout's in good condition, and it's not bad. But even I had the Boba in my hand and put it down. It's just it ain't great. It ain't great. It's not
Yeah.
a yeah. You either get into this line or you don't. But it's when Sideshow have produced such beautiful versions of these, why collect them? I don't know. It's kind of weird line
Yeah.
in some ways for me, but
They're geared more towards the
sure.
kid, I would guess. But it's not that. It's interesting. This discussion came up earlier today with a friend. Like Gentle Giant, they produce 12-inch versions of the vintage figures, that are very much in the same vein as these are.
Mhm.
They're a little bit shorter. These are 18. The Gentle Giant stuff is 12, but the Gentle Giant ones are $80, and these are what 20 or 30, or depending on the scale. I think the difference isn't quite, or the comparison isn't quite, apples to apples, because
No.
I think aren't the vintage Gentle Giant ones, aren't those solid as far as they're not hollow?
They are. In some cases, they are.
They are hollow.
Fett is definitely hollow. That's for sure. So no, they're not solid. Some may be.
The Gentle Giant ones?
Gentle Giant, yeah.
Huh. I thought
Definitely.
they were, I haven't opened any of the ones I have. I mean, they felt weighty enough as to be solid, so I didn't.
No.
I suppose I'd do a test and hack one in half or something.
Well, I've reviewed quite a few of the Fets, and well, don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, he's squidgy in parts. Some worse than others.
Okay.
But yeah, they're not great. You're right. I mean, at the price point, I mean, again, it's all about that vintage card back, I think, in many ways.
Yep.
They're not bad figures. The TIE Pilot, we were really examining the TIE Pilot, and he looked fantastic. Really, really good detail on him, and just looked great. But the blaster was kind of huge, and yeah, again, it's like the Jakks.
TIE Pilot. I'm sorry. Is the TIE Pilot in the style of the Rebels, or is it more realistic?
It's way more realistic. It looks very similar to the one we just saw recently at San Diego Comic-Con. That very cool looking pose. He just has a great look about him. They've styled it well. He's just standing in a really good pose. I mean, I think, to be honest, when you see some of the forums for TIE pilots and the 501st guys, a TIE pilot in the movies, if you can recall it, they didn't look that great. They'd kind of baggy jumpsuits and.
Right.
And the helmet was a bit, I mean, it's a Stormtrooper helmet kind of mashed together, and they were a little too big. So I think they've tweaked the design a little on this to just, it looks very slick. It's one of the better ones, I thought. Boba was actually one of the poorest ones. He just, the limited matte paint on him wasn't too great. But again, what, $25 I think it was, a pop, something like that, $28.
Mm-hmm.
They're not bad. They're not bad, but you'll run out of room very quickly with these guys.
Yeah.
So that Jakks specific.
As I'm finding out with just the 12-inch Gentle Giant figures, it's like, I don't want any more. I'll pick and choose. I don't need any more large action figures. I have enough problems storing my small ones.
Sure.
So, and then one more deal regarding the Jakks Pacific stuff is that there was a YouTube link posted via the Jakks company, and they gave a sneak preview of some of the new figures that are coming out. Obviously, there are some Rebels characters that we've all seen, but if you look around in the background in a lot of these shots, there's Zeb, there's Greedo, there's a Han Solo, in regular, A New Hope outfit, not in Stormtrooper gear. There's a large scale R2D2. So
Nice, nice little giveaway. I'm just having a look here, just at the video, just sharing it. If there we go, we can see Darth Maul. That's the Darth. Is Darth Maul been out in the quarter scale?
yeah, Darth Maul, I believe, is exclusive to Walgreens.
Ah, okay.
I think. I think that's what I remember from San Diego.
There you go. There's the huge blaster on the TIE pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Good looking figure, very good looking. But there we go. So we're just freezing
So
the pain. There's the Inquisitor.
There's Greedo to his left, behind him. See him sticking out there?
Not at all, actually.
The Inquisitor, right over to. If you're looking at the screen, it's on the right of the Inquisitor's elbow.
Oh, so it is. Well spotted, Jason. I'm just moving the mouse around there. Okay, so we're going to quarter scale. Let's see if we can see some of the other stuff there. They've done their best to hide things under blankets there, so maybe we'll get a little sneak peek of it there. No, you can just see the side of it. There's the Joker as well, which we haven't seen, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff. Wow, there's more of the Inquisitor. So he's quarter scale. My God, these things are huge.
Yeah, this is one of the 31-inch versions. It's weird. I would like to either, if you're going to do something like Rebels characters, like just have them all be in the same scale. Because, I don't know, it just seems odd to have an odd man out like the Inquisitor. Unless they come up, like they did with the Vader, they have him in both scales now.
Exactly. Well, Jakks, I mean, they're getting to be a very interesting distributor these days because they just announced this week, or last week I think it was, Legend of Zelda figures and a lot of Nintendo work that they're doing in, I think it's the 6-inch scale. So, yeah, they're definitely moving out of the larger scale into some other licenses. So, a company to watch, I think, Jakks specific. So.
Yeah, so we'll have a link in the show notes when we post the show tomorrow, and you could take that link and see if you could spot anything else in that video. So I believe there was also another black hole Stormtrooper in there that wasn't in that exclusive packaging from San Diego. So I don't know if that's coming later, or if that was just a mock-up or something. But there was definitely a black Stormtrooper in the room. In the lava Darth Vader style packaging.
Yeah, if you're a Jakks collector at the moment, I mean, wow. I'd love to hear about your space and how you manage it, because we've already had eight figures in total, I think, in that huge quarter scale. So yeah, it's a lot to collect. A lot of space. The next one was me, I think. This was just on the Wolfpack last night. The guys, a great podcast. If you don't know about them, check them out. The Wolfpack podcast. Dan Curto, Corey, Logan, and a few others. And I only found it just after the show. Logan, one of the guys we know on that Wolfpack show, has a bit of a talent for Star Wars card backs, and I just fell in love with this. I'd never seen this before, Jason. We've seen all these mock-ups of people doing vintage cards, but to get a card that was based upon the Marvel card art,
yeah, that's a cool design.
It is very cool interpretation. I mean, I actually remember this Marvel comic so well. The Death Probe, basically, Luke stumbles upon a Star Destroyer and finds an Imperial probot that's gone a bit mad inside the ship, and well, this is the comic art, and someone's done a nice job of the a Luke Dagobah landing there, and they've basically tweaked it to look like the one in the picture. So, just
yeah, we were actually supposed to get that comic pack with Luke and another figure in the white.
That's right. Yeah, that was ages ago. The old comic packs, the double ones. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was a canceled one. I think I don't recall if it's one of those sets that was underneath a sticker. Like there was a sticker that covered up some then canceled packs. But I do remember seeing an image of a white outfitted Luke, which was a white version of the Snowspeeder gear.
That's right. No, I remember that too. It was on the back of one of the, I think it was an Entertainment Earth exclusive pack, and they showed on the back of those comic packs the figure. The figures, the two of them, but yeah, never materialized. So that's right.
I have those Entertainment Earth comic packs on this shelf right up here. I can dig it out. So funny.
How
Um,
typical, but never mind. But I just thought this was a really nice variation. I mean, there's a lot of people who do vintage cardbacks, and they do. It's always Darth something that we've never seen in a figure. And a part of me is kind of like, whatever. But this was something fresh. And Mark Newbold and I from Jedi News were talking about it this morning, and Trevor Timms and a few other people on Twitter just saying, God, if they brought this out, we would just collect this line. I would anyway. It's kind of like the Hot Wheels you and I showed a while back, the Star Trek vintage stuff. This bright, colourful cardback. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about it, but I just love it. I absolutely love it. I hope someone in Hasbro does something like this. So that would be rather nice. But
yeah, and now that Marvel has the license again, maybe they can do something.
Exactly. That would be sweet indeed.
Hmm.
Whole other line of figures they could plunge. We may finally see Jackson after all, but not that I want him. But the other thing, just I chucked on to the show notes there was steampunk Lego. If you have not seen a guy called Marcus, who spelled his birthday there, I think, pretty clearly. Marcus 1984 0420. He's this guy's talented, very talented Lego designer, and he's done this amazing full to scale for Lego minifigures, steampunk AT-AT. But one of the things that really looks good about it is when you look inside. I'll try and show you this photograph here, but it's basically a little furnace inside. It's just beautifully done.
It reminds me.
Little details.
It reminds me of that horrible Will Smith Wild Wild West movie.
West movie, yeah. So, but a little furnace going on there to literally be steampunk. So, he's got some great stuff, and I spent the best part of wasted 45 minutes looking through his. I didn't waste it, but looking through all of his photographs. There's a T16.
Cool.
In a steampunk style, and a B-wing in a steampunk style. So, and on it goes. It's a rather cool little photo album. So check him out. And there's his room there with some of his Legos. So, very smooth indeed.
Let's see what else. There have been some new products arriving, in particular from Sideshow. They've started shipping out the Imperial Probe Droid, and Paul over at Jedi Temple Archives, he received his and posted a nice photo gallery and review of that. So I would check that out. I was surprised, as you know, I'll kind of spoiler it here a little bit, that this figure seems pretty fragile to him. I don't know if you had a chance to read it yet, but it's almost one of those. It's because of the intricacy of the limbs and all that it seems brittle.
Yeah.
Like you'd be afraid to snap pieces or whatnot. Yeah. So give that a look.
It's the one thing that got me was the base. I did not like that base.
I don't like that they have the stand, the black stand.
Black stand.
Can't you make that a clear acrylic, something, just so it just sticks out like a sore thumb when
it does.
I mean, granted, it's got a lot of black legs that hang down, so it might blend in, but why can't you just make it clear or white,
Yeah, there seems to be a thing. It's the same for Hasbro and 6-inch and even Marvel Legends. This inability to make clear stands for figures. It's NECA have done a great job. I think it's definitely more expensive, from what I've heard, to make clear plastic. Yeah. But hence why Hasbro don't do it. But what a shame. But
a lot of good review. Yeah, a lot of stands are kind of that milky white color oftentimes.
Opaque. Well, it's better than black, that's for sure. But
yeah. Let's see. Another quick thing regarding Lego. At San Diego Comic-Con, they had an exclusive Ghost that came with Chopper. I think it was limited to 500 pieces. It was a box set. The Fan Expo in Canada is having a similar one, only this time they switch out the Chopper figure for a Kanan figure, which I thought was kind of cool.
It is, yeah.
I'm blanking on his name right now, but you and I both follow him on Twitter, and we converse with him regularly.
Exactly.
He lives in Canada, and he happened to win one of these from a giveaway that the Fan Expo was was doing. So
Yeah, TP Empire, I believe, is
that's
the
right.
handle, the right handle. But
Hmm.
yeah, very nice guy. And yeah, I'm just looking at the Kanan minifigure, and it actually looks to be exactly the same. So there's no, yep, no difference. So because Chopper was different, I believe. Chopper was a darker color.
Oh, really?
I think he was. Maybe was that Rocket Raccoon. I think it was Rocket Raccoon. Maybe Chopper was the
Probably.
same. But yeah,
I'd
nice
like
little
to get the
set. So
Ghost. I mean, it's a cool microfighter.
God, yeah, that's a
I hope it.
beautiful little
I
set.
hope they release it on its own. With you could get another release out of it with Hera. You know.
That's true. Just go through the ranks of everybody.
Yeah.
So nice little collectible. Damn, these Lego things are so hard to get.
Hmm.
Anyway, frustration. Next thing
Custom
was
Yoda.
something that, yeah, just our friend Ryan Spencer was the next thing. Is that what you were?
Yep.
Have I jumped ahead? Yep. So if you follow Ryan Spencer, aka Blue Ghost Productions, he's getting further and further with these things, these little prototypes. He's taking these Mini Wars T-shirts and designs, just all that bit further, and he's beginning to get to this point now of nearly finished prototypes of these Mini Wars figures. But I love these. These
Yeah.
are beautiful.
I think these were, they're based off of the little Fisher Price
That's right.
Little People line
See them there.
from back in the 70s. I totally had a ton of those when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Probably have them still somewhere in a box. But yeah, he's doing interpretive Star Wars characters based on that style, and it's very very cool because he goes through the whole thing. He does, mock-up illustrations and
Yep. Yep.
kind of working models, and then he renders them in clay, and they're just fantastic.
They're beautiful. I mean, it's Mork and Mindy. He's got
Hmm.
Ghostbusters on there. I love that Snaggletooth. That's just beautiful. This is a sketch. He's such a talented guy. He really is.
Yeah.
So love your work, Ryan. It's just beautiful. And there's the Marvel stuff we talked about as well. So definitely check him out. He sells cool T-shirts and prints and all sorts of stuff. There's his Guido from before, but yeah, a good friend of yours and mine and Sith Lord 229. We're big fans of Ryan Spencer. Check him out.
Let's see. The next one here was a custom Yoda that a customizer, Evil Ivo, posted in our forums, taking the um, kind of disappointing Yoda that just came out in the Black Series line and gave him an.
I love this shooter. I don't get-
Yeah, it was disappointing at first, considering we thought it was going to be a nicely
True.
articulated
That's
figure.
true. That's
It
true.
only turned out to be five POA, but yeah, his version is a winner.
It is. So he shortened the legs, as it says there. New necklace, cut the belt, repainted the eyes, washed the hair, erased some of the paint, and a new cape. And there's what you get. Pretty sweet.
I like the fabric of the cape or of the
Yeah.
robe a lot more than the.
Well, so that's the original there, I believe. Oh, that's the first cape. But the second cape, that's beautiful. That's really nice.
Yep.
Let's just hope the 6 inch is good because I have my doubts about it really being able to pack a punch. But that's nice. Very, very nice indeed.
Yep. It's a great looking figure.
Without a doubt. Nice little
So
tip.
check that out. We have that and several more customs over in our forums, Yakface.com forums. Um, let's see. In the hole, or excuse me, Hole in the Ground Productions. In the hole. Hole in the Ground Productions have posted a new offering regarding the ammo crates from A New Hope. Typically, is how we remember them.
Yep.
And
I,
he's basically saying that these could be used, not only for Star Wars, but like GI Joe is for, you know,
anything,
accessories,
yeah.
ammo crates or money crates or whatever they were.
I always thought they were money crates for Han Solo with his
Yeah,
reward, and I always
yep,
thought, damn,
that's what
he's
I was.
loading a lot of bullion onto that
Yep,
Falcon. But so ammo, money, whatever you want to do. Yep,
$5 for a set of four. Why not?
very cool. And there's the old command console, which is I will paint one day, but a beautiful looking piece. Did you ever get around to doing any of your stuff?
Nope, nope. They're all sitting right over here looking at me.
Saying, paint me, man, paint me. So very good.
Let's see. Next, kind of wrapping up a couple of the other product announcements. This just came out today. Metacom had posted announcements for their 400% scale Jango Fett bear brick figure, since
Mm.
they don't do Kubricks anymore. Um, they're kind of going back to the well with some of these um, larger versions of their bear brick figures.
Indeed, $76 that works out. I just did a quick yen calculation there, but
Yeah, so it'll probably be around 100 once it's imported and
sure, sure.
sold here in the U.S. So I think at 400%, these are about what are they? 6 inches tall? 8 inches
I've
tall?
got a Stormtrooper, and it's at least 8 inches, I believe, from memory, if
Yeah,
the 400%. So it's pretty big. They are pretty big.
because they have 1,000% ones as well in for some of the figures, and those are
Oh
pretty
my
sizable.
God!
I mean, they're
Wow, 1,000%.
it's a
Okay.
thousand times the size of the. I think that's what they're.
The beer brick. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I think they've made a very few of them, though. It's a kind of limited. The 400%
Yeah.
has been pretty popular, I think, but the
Mhm.
1,000% is few and far between, I think. But
So that piece is limited to 1,000 pieces, and then they also announced not announced but put up for order the Mayfix Stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper, yeah, yeah, and a good-looking piece he is.
Yeah, I think I don't we haven't seen too many final
No,
shots of this. A lot of prototype looking um, shots and maybe a pose or two of a
sure.
final one, but this is it here.
I have to say, not rushing to pre-order this one just yet. It's, don't know. The price-wise, we're talking still no price on that actually. But I think we talked before around about the $50 mark,
Yeah,
45, $50, the same as Mifix, Joker, etc.
yeah, because they have
Um,
listed there about 4,500 yen.
uh, just check. I think the Mifix, if I remember,
So it's about
is
55.
50. Yeah, 40. Yeah, well, that's going to be
Yeah,
42. Okay, even cheaper. So, okay, that's not bad.
and then they have in one of those shots there. They've got a picture of the Darth Vader displayed with it.
That's right.
So,
With a little squat, his head looks a little kind of shrugged into his shoulders, but yeah, not bad. Not
yeah.
bad.
So
More
that
Star
kind of
Wars.
wraps up um, all the good toy and product announcement type posts. Moving on to TV, movie, and book news, game news. Um, they confirmed, they being Lucasfilm and Disney, confirmed the air date for Star Wars Rebels and how it's going to be split up and um, aired. So Friday the 3rd of October looks to be the
The
premiere
day.
of the movie of the 1 hour special on Disney Channel. And if you are a cable subscriber that gets the Disney Channel or Disney XD, you could watch it as early as September 29th. So I have that, so I'll watch it early.
Damn you, man. Damn you.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and then it kind of went into the schedule as far as it's going to be on Mondays at 9 p.m. What is that? 9 p.m. Eastern,
Hmm.
which is kind of an odd night. I thought. I mean, school will be in session. Um, it just seems like an odd night to have a Star Wars show on when like with Clone Wars, it was on a Friday night or rerun Saturday morning. So
And it was pretty early on a Friday night, wasn't it? It was kind of 8:30, 8, something like that. It was kind of
something like that. I think that the time did bounce around a little bit initially, and then I think it moved to a later time because it seemed to
overall.
be more
Sure.
adult oriented. But since this is now on Disney Channel, I guess they could have it earlier in the week.
I'm sure they will rinse it many times at many hours. I'm sure you'll be repeat viewings and so forth. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's see what else. There are a couple new spots that have hit. I think what was the last? The prior one was the Ghost or the Machine and the Ghost.
hmm
Then they came out with a new one called Art Attack, and that's more of a focus on Sabine.
Yep, this is a longer version of it this time.
Yep.
We got a much briefer one before, and there
Got the
was.
Macquarie-esque Han Solo.
That's right. That's right. Never even. I actually have not watched this yet. I actually thought this was the same as the preview one we'd seen before, just a very, very short version, but this one's brand new, so that's good.
Yeah,
3
it's
minutes
pretty
long.
good. It's not bad.
Nice.
Let's see what else. And then there are 3 new spots airing, Rebels television commercials airing, and we posted a link there in our show notes, and it'll take you to the Star Wars YouTube page, and you can watch those. They're basically all the same thing. It's just kind of recut versions and focusing on a few different aspects of the series. So
Very, very short indeed. So.
Yep, just 30 seconds maybe, and they advertise it being launching on the 3rd of October.
Yep.
Yep, those 3 spots. Something big, tough guy, and the other one I didn't.
Terrain of the Empire. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I don't know whether we quickly just put that in the show notes there, but we didn't, I don't think, add it in, but there is the Star Wars Commander trailer, which.
Oh, that's right.
We never just while we're here, just a quick look at it. I was quite impressed by the visuals for this. I'm not a big RPGer, but what did you think of the vehicles and stuff in this? Did you watch this yet, or?
I have not.
It's a little. I mean, it's once you see the game actual show. I mean, nothing looks like this in the game. There we go. That's the actual game. But kind of reminds me of Yoda's stories, if you ever remember that PC game way back. But like this Han Solo, like the cardboard cutouts almost. But Empire at War it looks like the same thing repackaged again and again.
Yeah.
And only out in iOS right now. We've got to wait 30 days for Android.
And it's free.
It's free. So anyway.
Let's see. Regarding Star Wars Celebration, that's coming up, it seems like really fast. It was confirmed that Dave Filoni will be there, and that wasn't a huge surprise to anyone, I don't think. Having a TV show and everything right now. And then also Steven Sansweet bringing his Rancho Obi-Wan exhibit to Celebration Anaheim like he did at the last celebration. Well, the past few celebrations he's been bringing that. So that'll be interesting to see in person again. Let's see, what else? Regarding games, there was announced the Star Wars Armada and Star Wars Imperial Assault. These are new games like the X-Wing desktop game from Fantasy Flight.
These are. I was introduced to a friend this week who was telling me about the Star Wars RPG side of things, and apparently it's absolutely huge. I had no idea. They were raving about some of these sets. Not only this stuff here. I know I'm plugging this again. I don't mean to, but just they have it listed. I just know that it's the Force. What was it called? I cannot remember the name for a second. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. Force and Destiny rulebook. So there's all these RPG games and books out there. I had no idea these things really existed. But these books are absolutely huge. They're absolutely massive.
Yeah.
With tons of info and characters and backgrounds.
Yeah, I have some of the original ones that came out back from West End Games years and years ago. Those were great source material. A lot of the EU a lot of the EU was built off of some of that stuff. So I find it very interesting. It's got all those cool vehicles and figures, and some are painted, and some are more of a generic type of stuff like the Star Wars command line is from Hasbro. But yeah, it has a huge following here.
Well, I think it was Gen Con is the key, or one of the key conventions for it. I know I'm sidelining here, but just I had no idea there was so many people go to these events, and obviously Magic the Gathering's big there, but Star Wars is just really getting big in the RPG side of things. Anyway, it's very interesting. A whole world of Star Wars I didn't really know about. So
Mm-hmm. Let's see. The next thing was something you had posted.
It was. Funnily enough, I need to speak to you about this because you've been nominated for this too.
Yes, I know,
So,
and I'm trying to divide. I know it's gonna be late, but I'll still end up doing it, and I'm contributing to the charity anyway. So I'm just trying to devise on how I'm going to present and who I'm gonna. I've got a laundry list of people I want to nominate, and I want to nominate to people. I want to nominate people that will actually do it. So we'll see.
well,
But I accept your challenge. I just
you were
have to.
nominated, I think, before I nominated you. So I don't know who it was that did it, but
I think I don't recall. I don't want to say in case I'm wrong, um, but I think I have a pretty good idea.
okay.
So I will. I'll have to do it twice then. I suppose.
Well, I nearly did it twice, but look, it's again just for what it's worth for talking about it for 2 seconds. Where we talk about Star Wars, people like the 501st do an amazing job of raising stuff for charity, and this is a horrible disease. It is absolutely appalling. It really is. It's called motor neuron disease in the UK. There's a whole separate movement going over there. They've not really got the ALS challenge, but it's the motor neuron challenge, a different kind of thing, but. Because a few of my friends were like, the what challenge? And it's a completely different thing for them, but obviously it's bigger in the States here. But yeah, my lovely wife nominated me, and we're giving some money, and I nominated the guys at Dorkside Toys, and they did it this morning, which was very funny. They get absolutely soaked, and they're doing it again on Monday. So, if everybody's getting involved in this thing, I know some people are a little bit negative towards it, saying they're not too happy, but look, we're all talking about something which is a terrible disease and raising money towards it. So that can only
Yeah.
be a good thing. So
Yeah. What can it hurt? Throw a dump a bucket of water on your head and
exactly,
give a
and be a bit
charity.
humble. Exactly. So
You
I know
know.
it's a little Harlem Shake. These things, it goes up and then it comes down, but
Yeah.
so yeah, be interesting to see you do it, sir. I nominated Paul from Jedi Temple Archives as well, but he's been very quiet and shy.
Hmm.
And Dan Curto did it, and a few other friends of mine as well. So interesting.
Stay tuned. We'll
Stay
get a video
tuned.
up there soon. In comic news, the final issue of the Darth Maul storyline that was originally scheduled to be part of the Clone Wars series has hit, kind of wrapping up that storyline, son of Dathomir, and I think people are pretty impressed and pretty happy with how that wound up. I know absolutely nothing about it from a story standpoint. I'm kind of waiting until October because that's when you could get the compendium or
Trade
the
paperback.
annual or whatever you call it of all 4 issues into one.
Yep.
So I'll be picking that up.
Or you can get it digitally right now.
Yeah.
That's what I do. So
I like to.
some space. I
Yeah.
know. I like it too. I like the magazines too. I agree. But yeah, it's the Wolfpack guys were raving about this last night and the story, and you can clearly see Mother Townsend there and Maul and his electronic legs or his digital legs, whatever you want to call them, his cybernetic implants. But yeah, interesting reading.
Let's see. We just spoke about the commander. Getting towards the end here, we mentioned them a few times during the show. The Wolfpack podcast. They just celebrated their 1 year anniversary, so we want to say congratulations to them. And I apologize for not being able to be on last night. I was coming off of about a 15-hour workday, and I didn't have it in me.
It's a long day.
No, these guys are great. I mean, they have a passion for talking Star Wars and toys and Clone Wars and Rebels and everything, and that's what the hobby needs more of, is people that. I mean, it exists out there anyway. It's just these people and friends are gathering up and doing what we're doing and
I agree.
chatting about it online at all hours of the night and having fun and making friends.
This is it, and I think as you and I have even shown, I mean, we do this for us. We're not doing it for viewer numbers, but people watch this and they tell us, and these guys they do this every week, just like us, faithfully. And I think one of the things they're doing is they're embracing new technology on channels, which a lot of other people just aren't. They don't like it. They want to stick to MP3s, and that's fine. But I like the way that we're pushing this and connecting with people across the globe, and just they've had Sam Witwer on recently. They've had Kat Tabor on the show recently. They're really pushing it. I mean, these guys are young. Some of them are under 16 years old. That's phenomenal. And they act and come across so professionally. It's more professionally, I'll say, than some people. But yeah, they're very, very good. So well done, guys. A year of doing that podcast. It's quite a feat.
Let's see. And then finally, another anniversary was the Star Wars Collector Archive, Gus and Duncan from SWCA. 20 years online.
I know. Isn't that phenomenal?
That makes me feel really old.
And they are such nice guys. I'm sure you've bumped into them or met them or seen them. Or they are, I'm sure anyone who's listening or watching, if you've ever gone to one of the celebrations, these guys are always there, deeply involved. God, they're just, the books, I bought them recently, are phenomenal. I was looking through one the other night. They are just, wow. You think you know Star Wars and then you read a Gus and Duncan book? It's, wow.
Everything
huge
from
fans.
Going way back to the beginning and covering toys or prototypes or just they have a book for everything, it seems like.
I know. I'm just reading the comment there. Congratulations, Gus and the Star Wars Collector's Archive was the first website I ever visited at the computer lab at university. I waited 30 minutes for the image of a blue snaggletooth to load.
Loved it.
Those were the days. Those were the days. Oh,
yeah.
Dear, oh dear. But
20 years.
30 minutes to wait for an image to load. And here we are doing global live video. But,
waiting for our video and sound to load.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's a crazy old world. Anyway.
That kind of wraps up that portion. We move to our new toy acquisitions and purchases for this show. I have been a good boy since the last time. I had a lot last show, I think. I have bought nothing new.
That's really surprising me. There's got to be something.
Something's wrong.
An air freshener, a box of candy with Star Wars on it. No, nothing.
No, nothing. I've been opening stuff and packing stuff away. You see, there's this box here. I'm consolidating and packing away things I don't need out anymore and want to make space for, and getting ready to start a new series of toy guide updates. So I'm gathering. Got my stack of Gran here, all the different versions of Riai's and his species. So that'll be a fun one to do, so I'll get into that.
Well, I was a slightly bad boy this week, and on a slightly different tack, but still Hasbro related. Hasbro brought out the 50th anniversary of G.I. Joe, and if you haven't ever got them, one of the figures was a figure called Lowlight. You probably can't see that very well. This figure is stunning. These guys come with 20 different accessories. It still amazes me that Hasbro can cheapen out a little bit on some of the Star Wars stuff, but I know they don't have to pay the license for it.
Right.
But the figures, the quality of them, and the other one is I bought here was Destro. I won't open it up, but he's an arms dealer, obviously, and the little briefcase opens up, and there's again like 15 different guns and weapons and cell phones and stands. It shows you what Hasbro can do. These are fully articulated figures, working holsters, removable goggles. It's insane how much detail is packed in these things. Lowlight was a huge hit when he came out originally, very low numbers, and I think he was going for about $40. So he's now back online. I bought this at work here at Dorkside and got it just for our price. But yeah, they're G.I. Joes. I wish Hasbro would do more for Star Wars, that's for sure. But
have you picked up any of the Toys R Us exclusive 50th anniversary stuff?
That's it. These guys are it.
Okay.
They're part of this.
There's like some box sets of vehicles. There's like the boat, or the raft, I guess it is, and the snow set. You could tell how little I know about it, but they look awesome. I mean,
no, you're on the money.
I had those, like the raft and the Jeeps and whatnot when I was a little kid, and I always loved like the different pods they had, and whatnot. So
I mean, I raved about this before. We talked about this on some of the boring conversations. There was a wave last year of G.I. Joe called the Ultimates, and Daryl DePriest was one of the lead designers behind it, and they packed a punch with that wave of figures, and they go for crazy money, you know, they really do, because they were the ultimate GI Joes as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, if you're getting a bit bored with Star Wars and you're interested, take a look at GI Joes. It's pretty good. And the other one was some Marvel Legends, non-Star Wars again, unfortunately, but some of these harder to find exclusives. The sadly Hasbro yet again kind of shortchanged a lot of stores. But the two double-packed figures within the wave were Cyclops and Wolverine, so we did have some spares, and I managed to pick up a couple of them. But even it's just getting so hard to find good figures on shelves. So, yeah, I'm very grateful and very lucky I can find them. So, yeah, that was me.
sounds good. I think with that, that wraps up this show. Again, episode number 28. Again, we'd like to thank all the people that have watched and shared our show over the past week and keep watching from week to week. We appreciate that a lot. I think that's it for me. Anything from you?
Nope, that's it. All good. See you in another show.
All right. So until next week, we will see you all later. Thanks, everyone.
See ya.